scary, spooky video game music, Charles. Spooky video game music.
Is that what that was?
I don't know what that was. That was on here. It was just one of the things that I clicked on. Oh yeah, we jumped back into it. I couldn't get Clint on. Clint was
That's
busy,
okay.
but yeah,
That's okay.
yeah.
So welcome new listeners to our off-season segments. And our off-season segments are filled with aliens, conspiracy theories, aliens,
More
and
aliens.
then random world sports. Last year,
Yeah, we're
we
gonna really
looked
get into it.
into extreme ironing.
Yeah.
Don't think we forgot about you, Britain. We're still coming to beat your ass in everything you do over there. I'm just throwing that out there. And we're going to come take the
Oh, we want the
dolphins.
title. We want the title.
We want all the dolphins too. We're going to rename that 1400 law to the boys with the heat. So I should, yeah, absolutely. So anywho, so in the beginning of our journey here, we're going to deep dive into our government and the aliens and how it feels as if. Okay, so I'll let you in. I'll let you in on this sweet little secret. So one of my favorite shows is Stargate SG-1.
Yeah.
I love that show. I love it. And one of the cool things they did towards the end of the seasons was like it was kind of getting hard to keep the program a secret. So to create plausible deniability, the government decided to create this television show, and this television show would kind of make fun of to an extent this Stargate per se. So I was laughing because I was like, wow, yeah, that's definitely something they would do, bro. Like they would definitely blatantly show you what we're doing without telling you what we're doing. So
Oh
I'm
yeah. Best
watching.
way to hide things is in plain sight.
Well, one of the main grays. That's what they call them now. That's what they
Yeah.
call their specific species out there. We're gonna deep dive into that, and we're gonna tell you what each one looks like. Blah 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 blah. But so the grays, what they call them. I mean, you can pretty much guess what they are. They're gray colored aliens. But anywho, the one of the main grays in Stargate SG-1 was Thor.
Yeah.
Like was the actual Thor. Turns out somewhere between 1920 and between 1920 and 1960, 1920 and 1860, we'll say, okay, without giving specifics. We've been visited by a gray who was nicknamed Valiant Thor.
Yeah. And he was a
And,
blonde-haired, blue-eyed alien.
bro, so I immediately went, pause. Did the government Stargate us and then tell us they did it by breaking a fourth wall in the original Stargate series about themselves? And like we've actually had like this gate the whole time,
So
and
you're saying
we
they
can transport to places,
broke the future by basically showing you the past.
more or less,
Yeah.
or was showing us a past while living in their present. It's weird, right? But
Yeah.
like I'm like, holy shit, they would do that. They would absolutely make a show about what they don't want you to know, and in such a way, because then you got the Bob Lazars out there, and I mean that dude's crazy, but turns out he's not. Just
Yeah.
found out they
Apparently lives
put
in
Element,
Michigan. Yeah.
yeah, they
Element 13.
no
Yeah.
Element 115.
150. Is it 115? Yeah.
It's 115, yeah, and it's now like an actual element on the periodic table. So it turns out he's not crazy. So we'll be digging into a bit of that. We'll have our buddy Clint on. He was a little busy this week. Clint Esposito, great dude, wonderful dude, amazing stories. Love it every time he's on. So my question to you, though, Patrick,
Yes.
are we getting groomed into a reality where extraterrestrials are living among us as they have been, as ancient astronaut theorists suggest yes, they have been living among us for thousands of years. Is this like just an attempt to soften the blow, right? Like, hey, we have been pulling the wool over your eyes, but it's like a national security thing or like a
Yeah.
world
Oh,
security thing.
1,000%. They have to go that route with it. If they were to go with the culture shock, the the world theory, and then basically tell everybody, like, if you told people tomorrow that literally everything that you've ever known is a complete fucking and utter lie, there'd be people jumping off of fucking buildings. If it's the same theory, Charles. If you told somebody that we lived in a simulation, people would there's no existence to life, there's no point to it, people would off themselves tomorrow. I mean, don't I'm not saying to do that. By God, no means possible ever do that. But you know what I'm saying? There's people out there that take everything to gospel, they take it to heart, and they would do it.
Yeah.
Same thing with aliens. I mean, there's people that have been looking up for years, and those are going to be the people that are, tinfoil hats and screaming, I told you so at the top of their lungs, too, when everything comes to fruition. So it's, yeah, I believe it.
So take Velcro, for example. Some people have speculated that Velcro, along with other advanced technologies, might have extraterrestrial origins. This theory suggests that such innovations are simply too advanced for human minds to have conceived on their own and therefore must have been inspired or directly influenced by alien encounters.
Cell phones.
So, and there was a lot, not to throw too much salt and pepper out there, right? Because everything we're talking about in portion here is something we're going to be talking about in length in future episodes. So that you're getting tidbits here and there. So technologies is a thing because I was watching a lot of the declassified UFO files, and I
Yeah.
was watching some of the videos. Now, what a lot of people don't realize, or maybe they do, and they just don't want to realize, is like when you're looking at those videos from our Air Force and Navy pilots, those are infrared images. Now the thing is moving at such a speed, yet it's giving off a cold presence. That thing should be glowing crazy hot somewhere, and it's not. So that's where you would get into the anti-gravitation fields, and that's where element 115 comes into play. You also, I mean, since the Roswell, there has been some form of governmental investigation into alien things. That's something else that a lot of people, while looking at it, don't realize that, like when Project Bluebird was closed, there was another project that was there. We've had secret space programs from the very beginning.
Holy shit. All right. So you
Yeah,
brought this up about
yeah,
Eisenhower meeting with the aliens and
yeah.
Valiant
Valiant
Thor.
Thor. Yes,
Now
yes,
check
yes,
this out, dude. Did
yes,
you did
yes.
you know that Eisenhower's daughter,
Yeah,
Laura Eisenhower,
yeah.
claims she's a global alchemist, researcher, intuitive astrologist. My global work has been opening natural stargates and assisting in the activation of the 13th gate through consciously being a part of the grounding of Mother Arc energies into the Earth's core. Either she's absolutely batshit crazy,
Dude,
or she
Stargate's
knows
real,
or
right?
she knows
Dude, I
something.
told you they made a television show about it. It's
Yeah.
on Amazon Prime. Dude, and you
Ooh.
can watch it for free. If you
Yeah.
got that Prime shit, yeah, you can watch
Yeah, I'm
the.
gonna have to check
Oh,
this out.
dude, I love it.
A
I
guy
love
that
it.
I
I
work
love
with said that
Stargate SG-1.
his friends just had her on their podcast.
Yeah.
He said she's a good guest, and maybe we'll reach out to her. We'll
Oh,
try to
we're going
have
to be
her on.
reaching out to a bunch of people. I want to reach out to the original. I mean, because Stargate SG-1 had MacGyver in it, bro.
Yeah, yeah,
Dude,
I love that show.
hopefully we can reach. We should reach out to MacGyver one of these
Yeah, come
days,
on, you
man.
listening, MacGyver? Get your ass on that
Oh,
show.
that'd be so cool. But these are a lot of the things we'll be looking into. The pyramids. I love talking about the pyramids. So we're going to revisit the pyramids. Viracocha. We'll let you guys in on a little bit of Viracocha there in South America. The sun god, Jesus before Jesus type stuff there. That'll really blow your mind. And we'll also take a little visit to Lake Titicaca. Of course, Atlantis is always fun. So I believe there's been some talk about Atlantis. Also, last year they found the treasure on Oak Island. So we can finally dig into that too. I know that's been super exciting out there. That's right up the alley with Gold Rush Brennan. We'll give old Brennan a shout out, get him back on the show, see how things are going for him up in old Canada. Soon to be the 51st state, I guess. I don't know what's going on with that, but not a bad idea. So one of the last year, one of the intriguing stories was the Las Vegas mole people. So that one's really fun. If you haven't heard of them, if you haven't seen anything about them, go check those peeps out. So, but back to revisit something you had mentioned too, that like it would rewrite our history. In archaeology right now, we are hitting the point where we're about 10 to 15,000 years ago. And a
Yeah.
lot of
Yeah,
these
we're starting to hit
deeper
that peak, yeah.
yeah, yeah. So stuff is already being rewritten. There's a whole ass temple that was pretty crazy. Yesterday I was just watching something about there's like it was either 1,000 or 5,000-year-old drawings that literally are depicting like aliens, and you're kind of like,
Have
all
you
right, man, I think you went and did that, but it would be pretty difficult.
have you looked up the Koso artifact before?
I have not.
All
I have
right, so
not.
the Koso artifact is a spark plug encased in a
Oh yes,
geode.
yes, 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 yeah,
Yeah, yeah,
yep.
that's an interesting one. It literally
Mhm.
looks like a spark plug that they found inside of. Or people were looking for geodes. Like
Yeah,
I'll try to explain geodes to people if you're not a geologist. It's basically just a rock, and there's stuff inside of it, like water, trapped water, or gems,
forms
possibly. Yes,
crystals
yeah.
and stuff like that. Yeah, yeah, yeah,
Anyway,
yeah.
they're busting them open, and they found a basically what would look like a spark plug from like the maybe
Hmm.
50s, 40s, maybe. Um, but they're
Yeah,
like, how to get in a rock because it takes 50,000 or 5,000. I forget how many thousands of years they said it takes,
yeah,
but
yeah. That'll be
oh,
on one of our
500,000 years old.
yeah, yeah, that'll be on one of our holy moly episodes. I would like to believe that it was like a Guardians and Galaxy incident where like it was just this space battle and a spark plug got caught in a meteorite and then
Yeah.
that meteorite hit
It was a
Earth and like
1920s era champion spark plug, 500,000 years old. Yes.
so I did find
Weird.
I did find out
Yeah.
that radiation fucks with carbon dating.
Okay.
And in fact, it can make it seem like that item is in the future. So this wouldn't affect that because we're
Well,
talking in the past. But
yeah, while we're talking the fact that they've only been around for a little over 100 years, I mean,
yeah, yeah,
and it's inside a rock.
well,
Yeah,
well,
I
well,
still don't know how that would work.
that falls along the theory that we're the fourth human cycle. But maybe there's a
That we
hell of a lot more
believe,
than
yeah, it
that.
could be a lot more than that.
Maybe
It
there's
could be
that
we could be the 5,000th for all we
because
know, you know.
well, because every human cycle per se is around 11,000 years, plus or minus a few thousand left or right,
And right,
depending on the
what did they
scenario.
say? We've got maybe 400 years left in this cycle or
We're
less,
we're,
something like that.
we're well within the 11,000 year mark. Yeah, yeah.
Yeah,
Pretty much any time now, from
yeah,
my understanding. But that gets super weird. I found
yeah,
out that there's a Bermuda Triangle on Lake Michigan.
yeah.
That was
It's
pretty
over
exciting.
in between like Chicago, Grand Rapids,
Yeah, yeah. Something
and
about a ship
Indiana.
just going upside down and them finding it, and then 25 years later, it happening again to the same ship. I would like to blame the people who own the ship. Like, I would have just put that bitch in a museum and, like, I would have sold it to a museum or something and
Do you
then
want to
put a new
take
ship out there.
Speaking of Stargates, right? You brought this up earlier.
Yeah,
Where
yeah, 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 yeah.
these are
Yeah.
the proposed areas that Stargates exist. Now,
Florida.
what's that?
I think there's one in Florida.
Well, there's three that they name that for sure, and they've
Hmm.
given me links. So there's Hapura, Sri Lanka. There's Porto de Almarca, Peru,
Hmm.
and there's Pharaoh Seti's Lost Temple. Those are the three that they name specifically by
Yeah,
name. I do not know. The temple one does sound familiar that it might have been on a show. The other two, I believe I might have heard Josh Gates or somebody like that
yeah.
talking about, or maybe an ancient astronaut theorist might have said
Well,
that.
the thing that befuddles me the most about all of this alien stuff, if we're being honest, is that through all of the government research done into it, 15% of everything investigated today, to this day, remains unidentified. And we're talking about people from Rockefeller, Tim Rockefeller, Tom, Terry, uh, Penis. I'm not sure which one it is, but one of the Rockefeller brothers there, he funded one of the largest private alien investigative things of all time. That'll be an interesting chitty chat. We'll get into that one too. So if you're interested about that one, there is a massive group out there today, a new group filled with just a bunch of really cool people, ex Air Force pilots, just a lot of really smart ass people in a room. They sometimes it gets weird, right? And I think this is where the like, because I always look at everything with skepticism, right? Like
Oh, right.
I'm not just jumping in, right? Like I'm there for the good time, but there's this thing they're doing now where they like go out in a field and like they get rid of the sensories and and like they try to control a pilot or something, and it was really fucking weird. I'm not gonna lie, I had to turn it off at that point. I was like,
Oh yeah,
okay,
yeah. They get super weird and super
yeah.
deep with it. Yeah.
I was like, you just told me you were sitting in a field piloting foe.
All right. Yeah.
I'm
I mean, I get it.
I'm gonna go get a bowl of cereal.
I'll come back when you guys go back to the cool
Yeah,
stuff.
yeah, this got really weird really fast. But again, afterwards, you see the dot in the sky and you're like, oh, it's a fucking satellite. But then like they come out with all these numbers
Oh, that's
and
like
you're
all the
like,
people. Remember when the alien thing was going on, Charles, and Elon Musk had his satellites up there, and everybody was like, "Yeah, that's just Elon's shit up there floating around." And he's got this giant freaking shit of satellites up there, and people are like, "Hey, look, aliens!" No, really, that's just a shitload of satellites.
so
Starlink.
I was up in the UP and I got to witness one of those happening. Dude, it looked I for about
It looks
12
kind of
sec dude,
crazy.
for
Yeah,
about 12 seconds, I'm like, did they just open up an intergalactic highway
right.
to our fucking little planetary system here? No way. What'd we
Oh,
do?
speaking of which, did you know they're launching
Fucking
a
Starlink.
buttload of them up in Marquette?
What's that?
Satellites. Elon is like a
Oh yeah,
bunch of
yeah.
their Starlink.
Yeah, because they were supposed to do something in the Sault Ste. Marie. I don't know, man. The UP's so
I
privatized.
think
It's
they
hard to fucking do
sold
anything up
I
there.
think they sold the old Air Force base in Gwin, and they're going to be using that. As from what I remember, that's what they're going to use it for.
It would make more sense. You're closer to the atmosphere up here than you are down there, so it'll be interesting to say the least. Hopefully the AI doesn't give me something crazy. There's quite a bit of buzz about aliens in the news lately. Pentagon report on the UFO. Um, Hundreds of new incidents involving whistleblower claims. I did just watch a whistleblower thing last night.
Oh yeah,
That's
The Air Force
yeah,
guy. That's who
that's
you're
what I
talking
was
about.
on. Yeah, that's what I was watching. Yeah, that's when I turned it. Yeah, because they started talking about piloting planes and shit. I was like, bro, come on. Like I can like in my mind right now,
Well,
like
well.
I'm
Anyway, the thing was, he thought he saw a gray alien, and that they had an interview with him, and that he saw it fly over, whatever. Yeah. Then they were talking about the telepathy and being able to
yeah.
fly. Yeah, it's weird.
Because if I
Uh,
close my eyes right now, I'm on a golden train
yeah, you're flying,
whistling through the
floating through
stars,
shit. Yeah.
dude, and I'm just cruising right now on a big train. If I could build spaceships, it would be a train. I'd build a train space station.
Remember, you're the one that said you wanted to go under Antarctica and you wanted to find out all that shit. You want to find that
Yeah,
wormhole under there.
single man submarine suits. I'm telling you
Yeah.
guys right now on the air, right? Any of you smart fuckers out there, make it a single man submarine suit. I'm telling you, that's how we do life, and give humans gills. However you can figure that out, breathing apparatus or something. Can't get me talking about those. I'll be giving away all my cool ideas for my books.
Well, that's fine. You've got plenty of ways to cite it on this show. You've said it multiple times, so I'm sure there's plenty of legality towards it, Charles. It's your idea, and if they steal it, we know where they got it from.
Just donate my portion to St. Jude's,
There you go.
and I'll never come after you.
Yeah,
I'll never come after you.
but Charles does want you to put single man submarine suit.
Single man submarine suits. Yeah, that'd
Charles.
be cool. Yeah,
Charles S.
SMS. Yeah, SMSSs.
Yeah.
Get the SMSSs. It even sounds.
Nothing ever did come of that. I was showing Paul that video, the drone footage of that like I don't know if it was like a Bigfoot or it was a damn alien climbing up a mountain in Afghanistan. Did you ever, you know what it was, right? A really shaggy fucking llama. It was like running up the side of a mountain and a drone caught it. Well, it was a really big llama, like a 400 or 500 pound llama, and it was like the drone was like at like maybe waist level, and it obviously waist level, 1080p camera. You're going up the hill and you're following it. It's gonna look a lot friggin' bigger than it does up close. And then the guy's like, all of a sudden you can hear it kind of go, bah. You're like, yeah, pretty sure Bigfoot. If the one thing that's not coming out of his mouth is not bah.
No, they came up to Michigan and was yelling in the woods. Sounds more like a
yeah, they're tree knocking and shit too. Yeah.
Yeah, it's really weird. It's really weird. I'm pretty sure that wasn't the exact Bigfoot call, but it's pretty close.
It's something like that. Yeah.
I told you Sonic has good burgers, but A&W has better burgers in Bigfootian.
All right, there you go.
Yeah. So yeah, it's going to be a really long off season.
Well, here's the thing. We'll get back into it with Paul and those guys. Paul's probably going to be the biggest non-believer. I think we should have an episode where we try to convince Paul to watch one of these shows, even though I know he probably won't because he'll just laugh the whole time. But I mean, you gotta have a sense of humor if you're going to watch that stuff. You can't take it serious. Not all of it anyway. I mean, a lot of it is 90% of it is just to get you interested anyway. Only about 10% is actually interesting, but that 10%, sometimes it's good.
It's going to be good. It's going to be real good. Well, you got anything else you want to add? We'll start building our business plan for the alien world.
No, we got to start thinking about you and I next week. We got to start thinking about our draft. Yeah. What we're going to do too, so.
Yeah. We'll discuss that. So, next week's episode we will talk about ancient technologies. How about that? Does that one work for you?
Yeah, and maybe we'll have Clint on.
Yeah. If we get Clint on, but if not, foundationally we'll build it on ancient technologies.
There you go.
Because I think there was even a compass. There was a compass found. It's a pretty sweet ass compass too.
Yeah, there's a sword too, or a dagger that they found at the bottom of the lake here in Wisconsin. 10,000 years old, and apparently they're saying that it still had remnants of blood, and it might have been a saber-toothed tiger DNA. So that would be interesting.
Fucking Jurassic Park all over again.
Yeah, in Wisconsin.
Can you imagine fighting a saber-tooth with a sword? Yeah. I'd be okay with that.
Yeah. I didn't much spear, but yeah. I really want to get that close to it, like a spear, maybe.
Spear?
Yeah. Well, it was they think it was a dagger, so it might have been a spearhead.
Oh,
yeah.
Fuck it, I'd do a sword.
Yeah.
Yeah. Fuck yeah.
One of those scimitars, or
yeah. Because the spear might break.
Yeah, it's wood back then. They probably didn't find the strongest trees.
But if I got a sword at this point, I should be able to have a metal pike.
You would think, yeah.
Would you attack it or wait for it to pounce and then counter?
Oh, I'm falling full gusto. Full head of speed. If I'm going down, I want to at least take it wounded with me.
I'm going to stare it in the eyes, wait for it to leap, and then on its downward. Yeah.
Yep.
I see it right now. Just like I'm driving the plane.
The golden plane. Golden train.
I guess I would just like everyone to know that we are not alone. We have never been alone. Thank you guys for listening.
beach in my fly. What I hear deep in the eye. When you ride, she love like in the child. Cause the mind, all rest of the blind. Yeah, go now, betting your line. In school, I see the bag. My beach stick, bring your eye. And avoid the light skin in the style.
I'm stoked.